Kamikaze aka Atomic Samurai vs Gale and HellFire Flame, a Master Swordman vs 2 ninja monsters. This matchup right here was suggested in my Discord server and I thought it's a pretty interesting one. Seeing Flashy Flash fight against both of them has sparked many discussions among the community. One of them is who would win if Atomic Samurai has encountered them first before Flashy Flash did. In this video, we'll be assessing how this would go and who would snatch the victory from the other. But before that, as usual, make sure to atomic slash the subscribe button and the notification bell for more of these One Punch Man videos. Thank you. Gale and HellFire Flame are two Jonin ninja who joined the Monster Association in order to assassinate Flashy Flash. Being one of the few who can revert back to their human forms despite them being fully monsters. The rank they were assigned to in the Monster Association is still unknown. One might think they deserve the rank cadres since both of them were legit dragons. In one of the pre-Ratcon chapters, Phoenix Man states that both of them were cadre candidates. However, this statement does not exist in the new canon version, but since both of them have met the criteria on becoming an executive, which is being a dragon level monster, this begs the question, why didn't they become one? There could be multiple reasons why they were excluded to be in that group. The first one is that they just simply weren't strong enough, unlike the actual cadres, which is something I do not believe at all. I just refuse to believe that a character, especially like Gums, is stronger than them. The second and third reasons are more logical and most likely to be the case. They were just not fully aligned of what the Monster Association is trying to do, or precisely not interested in becoming a cadre. They clearly just wanted to kill Flashy Flash. This, or they simply did not embrace their monster side, generally walking and starting the fight with their demon level threats human form, made them technically not 100% dragon level monsters. Now their first showing is keeping up with Speed of Sound Sonic. While it was obviously not a fair fight since it was 2v1, they've still both implied that they were holding back even in their human form. But what happened next was one of the many demonstrations of how large is the gap between a demon and a dragon is. Gale in his monster form completely perception blades Sonic to the point of experiencing excessive sweating as a response of fear and stress. Now in chapter 87, Gale implied that both of them are strong enough to fill the whole Goketsu and Elder Centipede left behind. That's a very bold statement given how impressively strong Goketsu is compared to another dragon level monster, Bakuzan. But their statement could be invalid since most monsters believe they are stronger than the others. They also think that the other heroes are fathers and Flashy Flash is the only exception, which is entirely not true. Speaking of Flashy Flash, their battle against him makes up the baseline majority of their best feats. This is considered to be one of the best fights in the entire series, in which the three of them displayed amazing levels of speed throughout the entire fight. In their demon level threats, they managed to defend against most of Flashy Flash's attacks. Granted, it's important to note that Flashy Flash was clearly holding back as he wanted to know who hired them to kill him. It was also seen in most recent chapters that Flashy Flash completely blitzed them in their human form and they decided to run. However, in their monster forms, it's a slightly different case. Not only were they keeping up with his speed, but were actually able to damage him to the point of drawing blood. I'm not sure everybody understands how crazy fast this fight was. These are not just any normal fast-based characters. They are speedsters who can move, react, and travel in tremendous speed. They can outpace multiple explosions to the point where they look frozen or in slow motion. And according to Flashy Flash, any other S-class hero would have struggled against their speed. Anything they have done regarding their fight against Flashy Flash is very impressive. Taking away his sword, barraging him with hits, and clearly damaging him and keeping up with him speaks well of how strong and fast they are. Not only that, but Phoenix Man in the pre-Ratcon version became very cautious of Flashy Flash despite gaining a tremendous strong form, simply due to the fact that both of them were defeated by him. But this was also removed in the Ratcon version. Gale and HellFire Flame are still alive and most likely would have a good role in the next upcoming chapters. But can they deal with Atomic Samurai? Kamikaze, also known as Atomic Samurai, is currently the number 3 S-class hero, considered to be the strongest swordman on the planet. His first showing was against Melsgard, who is a dragon level monster, showed the capability of keeping up with him and eventually teaming up with Bang to completely destroy him. Kamikaze later in the Monster Association arc seemed invincible. Literally neck-diffed a demon-level threat Rhino wrestler with a slash in such an immense speed nobody was able to see it. A similar case happened in the audiobooks against Sonic, who stated that he didn't even see him draw his sword. Granted, both of them were holding back since Atomic Samurai didn't go all out, and Sonic stated if he gets serious, no sword slashes in the world can catch him, which is obviously not true. Now, it's pretty apparent that Atomic Samurai is one of the few heroes who can tangle with dragon-level monsters. A remarkably strong demon-level monster G5, even when provided with Atomic Samurai's swordsmanship data, had to run after one single exchange. Even when copying his swordplay, he still couldn't match his techniques. Now, it's important to understand that the reason why Atomic Samurai is highly underrated is because of his fight against Black Ass, one of the strongest cadres who is literally the counter for Atomic Samurai's swordplay. Not only did he defeat him, but he legit exposed Kamikaze's greatest weakness, which is his low durability. One single punch from Black Ass has made it very clear that in the strength and durability department he is pretty lacking. But he clearly compensates for that with his immense speed and his swordsmanship techniques. Speaking of techniques, Nichiren, who scales below Atomic Samurai, slashed an apple so fast the apple did not realize it has been cut. Yes, that's an actual feat. This is considered more impressive than slashing the plateau that was behind the apple. He can also air slash, and in the pre-retcon version, Atomic Samurai uses a technique to vaporize Black Ass during the cave-in. However, this also has been removed in the official release. Now, when it comes to speed, his perception or reaction speed is pretty clear superior to his overall movement speed. Managed to easily react to G5's laser, perceives Psycho Orochi nerfed beam, and proceeds to atomic slash it. He's also relative to Mel's god, Black Ass banged before his Awakening Breath, Janos, and Darkshine, but obviously gets easily blitzed by Platinum Ass. However, it's important to note that his swordplay, specifically his atomic slashes, are just significantly faster than his movement speed, meaning if he has locked his aim on an opponent and already used atomic slash, his opponent's speed would not matter. Atomic Samurai now holds the Sunblade sword, also known as Nichiren. With this, he gets a considerable amp, both in sword strength and speed. Managed to destroy Homeless Emperor Large Destructive Beam, and almost slashed him until Golden Ass had to save him. Atomic Samurai also managed to cut Golden Ass's arm that contains 12 trillion cells. This is a remarkably amazing feat, since Golden Ass, both strength and durability wise, scales higher than Darkshine and Vomited Fuhrer Ugly. The only downside to this is that it requires a shit ton of energy ki, but if he manages to master it alongside with obtaining the Moonblade, I could see him become a top 3 hero.
できるもんならやってみろ。
Now, it's pretty blatantly obvious that this battle right here would heavily rely on speed. The ninja members mostly rely on leg speed, while the samurai focuses on sword skill and techniques. Hence, the statement of Atomic Samurai being the strongest swordman on earth does not mean he is stronger than Flashy Flash in a general sense, but more so better when it comes to swordsmanship skills. When it comes to movement, I don't think we've ever seen Atomic Samurai move in a speedster-like speed, but on the other hand, we've seen him react to attacks that could be necessarily faster than him. That means his reaction time is higher than his movement or combat speed without using his atomic slash. The two ninja, however, has shown consistently that their movement speed is on par with their reaction or perception speed. Base Atomic Samurai should be more than capable of dealing with their speed in their human form. However, their monster form is an entirely different case. Now, seeing their speed, Atomic Samurai would understand completely that in order to win, he'd need to heavily rely on his reaction time. The moment they get near him, he'd unleash his atomic slash. A sword attack of that magnitude holds fatal finishing power and moves faster than his body itself. Now, even if they react to it, it would be too late. Flashy Flash destroyed Hellfire Flame's sword with a normal concentrated attack. There's no way in hell both of them can even begin to hope of stopping an atomic slash if it was unleashed in close range. Throwing their blades, on the other hand, to fight Kamikaze with their pure monster strength on these same circumstances would change absolutely nothing if Atomic Samurais follows the same battle plan. However, I believe if they manage to connect a single time with a kick or a punch right through Atomic Samurai's body, he'd be heavily injured and that would affect his reaction time performance. The punch he received from Black Ass that rendered him incapable of fighting could be much stronger than what Gale Wind and Hellfire Flame can exert, since later Kamikaze took another punch from Black Ass to the face and didn't seem to affect him the same way it did before. But for the benefit of the doubt, let's say the two ninja can exert that much energy in their punches or kicks since they were able to toss away Flashy Flash and slightly damage him. If they used their ninja skills that they couldn't use against Flashy Flash since he knows about all of them to distract Kamikaze and barrage him with multiple hits, it would be his downfall. However, I doubt Atomic Samurai would fall to their tricks, and regardless of what would happen, this would be close depends on the execution of each of their best ways to win. But I'll still give it to Atomic Samurai since he has the instant finishing power and the reaction speed to deal with them. Not to forget his sword techniques that would give him an edge in a blade exchange. Now similar to Nichiren, his sword strikes can be effected in a long range battle as well. He can use these types of attacks to get close to them or draw them near him in order to execute his finishing blow. But as I said, if they manage to hit him a single time and follow it up with consecutive attacks, I don't see Atomic Samurai surviving that. Remember that both of them are not as fast as Flashy Flash, and the only reason they competed and tagged him in the first place is because he wanted to kill them simultaneously. But again, Kamikaze is well aware of his weaknesses, and with his reaction time and slashing speed, he would get the W. Atomic Samurai is very underrated, since in most cases, as I said, he fights opponents who are a hard counter to him. From Melzguard Regeneration to Black Ass who can split without limitations, and Vomited Führer Ugly who can melt his sword. But narratively wise, Atomic Samurai seems to be one of the strongest heroes in the association, called with Tatsumaki to deal with a dragon level monster in the audiobooks, and rivals Bang who is already a top tier hero. And with the Sun and Moon Blade amp, I'm sure we will see crazy feats from him in the future. Oh yeah, and by the way, Sunblade Atomic Samurai obviously destroys, and it should not be a debate at all. Make sure to join the Discord server and take good care. But more so better when it comes to swordsmanship skills. For fuck's sake. But more so better when it comes to swordsmanship skills.